Nick, come on up.
Thank you, Cheryl. I'm actually a captain in my own mind, but I am a chaplain with the San Ramon Valley Fire District and the San Ramon Police Department, the Danville Police Department, the Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office. I've served on the Contra Costa County Suicide Prevention Committee, and I am a speaker for an organization called Teen Esteem. We spoke to a couple thousand students last week at Mission San Jose about various subjects, including this one, to get their attention. And today is all about awareness, and that's why you're here. And we're going to spend a couple of minutes reflecting and remembering lost loved ones. There are some families here who have lost sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, aunts and uncles, and we're going to take a few minutes to remember them. So if you don't mind, if I could, because this is sort of a sacred moment we're going to have, if everybody here could just focus your attention this direction for just a couple of minutes. It just seems appropriate if we're going to spend a few minutes remembering those that we've lost, that we could just have everybody's attention. I know there's some good conversation going on. There's a lot of information being traded out there, but for just a couple of minutes, if we could just take a few minutes to remember. Some parents are going to come up and share in just a minute. And I will just share from a personal perspective as a chaplain. I spend most of my time with officers and firefighters, building relationships with them, working with them after experiencing critical incidents and so forth. But I also get called out. I get called out into the midst of people's worst nightmare when they've lost a loved one. I have spent way too much time at San Ramon Regional Medical Center in the emergency room surrounding the body of a young person, watching their mother and their father and their loved ones stand around their body after an overdose. I've seen mothers laying their head on the chest of their son or their daughter in utter disbelief that this has happened to them. A year ago, a mile from here, in the living room of a family whose son grew up in this neighborhood after an overdose, and looking into the face of these parents, their life is changed forever. 2 weeks ago today, as Sergeant Hollis mentioned, Hollis, I was in that room, in that house with that family, looking at pictures of a little girl who went to the same schools that my little girl went to, dressed in her outfit, on the dance team, on the soccer team, asking myself the question, how can these little girls and these little boys grow up and all of a sudden find themselves passed away in an emergency room, on the floor of their bedroom, in their kitchen, in their car, in a neighborhood, in a dorm room, on the floor of a house where there's a party, wherever it is. So I'm here having no idea what it's like to be a parent of somebody who's lost one, but being in the midst of the agony and the hurt and the pain of families whose lives have been changed forever. They'll never be the same. And thank God that there are resources like this to bring awareness, because that is the absolute key ingredient to preventing these deaths, is to bring awareness, even shocking awareness, to communities like ours, in the schools, in churches, in clubs, in every arena, in the media, to this epidemic problem. So thank you for being here. We're going to spend a couple of minutes just hearing from a couple of families whose lives have been changed, and they're going to share just briefly. We only have a little bit of time, but they're going to share very briefly how this has impacted them and give us some words of encouragement. Yes, they have words of encouragement for us of how we can make a difference so that what has happened to them might not happen to any other families in this community and around the region and in the